Viva la Vida. Enjoy life, even if it's not always like a vacation on the beach. Everyone has their baggage to carry, even if it's not always obvious or apparent to outsiders. Nevertheless, life is a gift that we should appreciate, cherish, and above all, be grateful for every day. The good times are always interrupted by the bad, and that's the way it has to be. How else would you know to appreciate the good? There are a lot of good reasons why you should live more and worry less. Everything happens the way it's supposed to anyway. We can't directly influence the 10 areas of our lives described in today's video. Therefore, there is no point in worrying about them. They can be safely crossed off your list of worries. If you like our videos, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Psychology in Mind, activate the bell for notifications, and get excited for new videos uploaded every day. Number 1. The past. The past is called that because it's just that, past. It makes absolutely no sense to mourn it or regret it. It makes sense, however, to draw lessons from it and to vow to do better in the future. Only those who have learned nothing from the past have really failed. However, those who understand the perhaps hard lessons learned from their earlier years and use them as a guide for living in the here and now will face their future with experience and foresight. Number 2. The future. Whether we like it or not, the future has already begun. Therefore, worrying about its course is largely pointless. It's like a card game. We have to play the hand we are dealt. How we play, however, is 100% up to us. Of course, plans for the future are valuable and important. However, you should expect detours, roadblocks, and the odd traffic jam along the way. Life is a highway, not a parking lot. Number 3. Your enemies. Each of us has people in his or her orbit who harbor grudges, are filled with envy, and would rather see you fail sooner rather than later. Actually, it could also be a gift, a compliment that some people envy you. As the saying goes, pity is a gift, envy must be earned. Beyond that, we have no influence on what others think of us anyway. For those who are hell-bent on hating us, we should simply let them boil in their own juices. Trying to convince him or her otherwise is doomed to failure 90% of the time, and thus neither worth a worry nor your time. Number 4. Old age. Death and old age are, unfortunately, the only fixed stars in the life of every single human being. Strictly speaking, they could even be considered the only real justice, since they afflict rich and poor alike and really no one can avoid them. Again, it's a bit like the future. There is no escaping old age, but what matters is how we rise to the challenge. To age with dignity, decency, and respect for life means one thing above all. We should be grateful for being able to experience it in all its fullness. If our health is reasonably in balance, and we have a lot of influence on that, then a furrowed brow, gray hair, and crow's feet may be welcome guests to us. Number 5. The opinion of other people. This is another area that is beyond your control, and therefore a waste of time to worry about. As long as you don't harm anyone, you can confidently get the absolute best out of this life for yourself and your loved ones. As the English proverb goes, what your neighbor or colleague thinks about your business is really none of their business. Number 6. Other people's actions. The same thing that applies to thoughts also applies to the actions of our fellow human beings. We are not responsible for them. We usually know very little about them and their motivations. Whether they do good, bad, or just plain idiotic things is equally beyond our control, and therefore should not affect our lives more than is unavoidable. Remember the famous saying, live and let live. Number 7. Your image. The image you let other people see of you is not necessarily what they actually perceive about you. Yet most of us work hard every day to present an ideal image that should show our chocolate side and nothing else. The problem with image, however, is that it can be quite tedious to maintain over time. As with an exotic plant, everything can be green and beautiful today, but tomorrow the leaves may begin to wilt and the flowers fall off. Is it really important or necessary to want to show yourself to the world differently than you are? Unless you are a rock star or a politician, you shouldn't care about your image. Number 8, money. It's true, without money, everything is nothing. Money means security and prosperity, but certainly not happiness. If you earn or have enough money to make a living, plus reserves for emergencies, you shouldn't devote more of your life to filthy mammon than is absolutely necessary. Take a look at your fixed expenses for a quarter, including those payments that don't come up monthly. Is your money enough to live on, or are you living for your money? Concerns about financial security are absolutely valid and understandable. Yet the bottom line is that money involves thoughts and feelings to which we often give unjustified attention. Number 9, the areas of your life over which you have no control. It would be nice and reassuring if we had all the threads in our hands and all areas of our existence always under control. Unfortunately, this is pure wishful thinking and will remain an unfulfilled daydream even for every perfectly organized control freak. Set your priorities on the things you can influence and steer. Anything else would just be empty miles and wasted resources, not to mention the unnecessary worry lines on your forehead. Number 10, the claim to avoid mistakes at all costs. Fear is a bad advisor, an even worse companion. If you are constantly afraid of making mistakes or making bad decisions, you will eventually just remain in a state of shock and literally attract the next problem. Because that's exactly how it is with the fear of making mistakes. Our brain is programmed for selective perception. When we think, just don't make a mistake, exactly one word of it gets stuck in our heads: mistake. Unfortunately, the fastest and surest way to catapult yourself from one misery into the next is to try to avoid it with all your might. Today's conclusion: there are no perfect people, only perfect intentions. This quote from an Irish poet sums it up. We can try hard to live a perfect life, but we will not succeed. Knowing this, we can relax a little and sit back. The next challenge is bound to come. How we deal with it will determine whether we want to master life or fear it. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching. Did you find this information helpful? Do you have experience with it? We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. For more resources about mental health, self-improvement, and psychology, visit our website. You'll find the link in the video description where you can also connect with us on social media and sign up for our email list. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day.